Hey, let's roll December in here. It is Sag season. It is December. It is summertime if you are below the equator. It is winter if you are above. Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We have two big Venus aspects to kick off December. One already happened. It was 12:30 this morning Eastern Time. That was an opposition to Mars. You're going to see a theme here. So Venus in Sagittarius, opposite Mars retrograde in Gemini. That's one. Now let's roll all the way through the day up to 10:10 p.m. this evening. And Venus sextiles Saturn in Aquarius. So obviously the other commonality here is the two malefics are involved. And that's basically where it stops. One is a tense aspect. That's the opposition that was this morning. The other is a sextile, a 60-degree easier, softer, more playful aspect. But you are talking about the two malefics. So let's pick these apart. First of all, Mars in Gemini, opposite to Venus in Sagittarius. Now, the first thing I would be doing is getting out my own little natal chart, and I would be refamiliarizing myself with where Venus and Mars are and where Sagittarius and Gemini are, seeing how that might affect you. So what houses are involved there, especially where your Venus is, because that's going to be the kicker, if you will, of where this centered energy around your money or around your love life, your relationships, your home, your harmony, maybe your balance, maybe an area that might tip over out of balance a little bit with Mars out there kicking on it. Or you could find out where 18 degrees of Sagittarius and 18 degrees of Gemini are, because those are hot spots. And then this is how you can put all of this together for yourself, like we've been talking about with Robert on Old Soul, New Soul, is read the chart from there. Don't leave any scraps on the table. Read what you see. Paint a story of the imagery here. We remember, and I was thinking about this before, how is Mars in Gemini now that it's in retrograde? Would you say it's toned down? I would say it's amped up. In fact, Mars is in a T-square today with the moon, and you could bring Neptune into that as well. So there's some more tension. In fact, let's just widen these orbs out and let's paint this T-square picture as well, because Mars is at 18 degrees. Opposite that, we have Venus, and Mercury is close enough. There's your opposition side. And then at the point of the pyramid, Neptune and the moon are both close enough to be included up there as well. So let's do what Robert says. Let's read. Well, first of all, let's get the shadow out of the way. So it could be that somebody close to you that you have an emotional connection with is lying. And when you find out, it's going to hurt. That's the shadow. Now let's talk about the positive. You are getting spiritual insights and perceptions and directions right now that you haven't received in quite a while. However, you are torn about some old divisions, either around relationships, or you just can't get both sides of your head around fully mobilizing in that direction. It's that balance between how much of the physical do I focus on versus how much of the spiritual do I focus on, and am I in balance? And you're finding that there's a tension there that can be worked out but needs to be worked out. Now, let's throw tonight's aspect of Venus sextiling Saturn in Aquarius, and let's say that if you do work out the elements of that T-square and you do break through that tension on the positive side, then you could break into some totally new, innovative areas that are the very gist of that spiritual inspiration coming from Neptune and the moon in Pisces. So this amplifies and makes whatever is going on in your life right now bigger, because Saturn is saying if you'll do the work with the karma and break through it, then you're going to get a very long-lasting new dynamic in your life. Aquarius, revolutionary. This is big. Don't minimize it. But the extra juice of all of this is today, because tonight, at just a couple of strokes before midnight at 11:40 p.m. Eastern, the moon enters Aries. And by the way, the void, of course, begins at 9:45 Eastern. So hopefully you caught this early and you are working through that today. You know, yesterday I sat with the energy that we talked about in yesterday's podcast, and it was really great to just get up in the morning, no clutter and things bouncing around in your head of what you got to get done today. And I sat down with, okay, what do I gently need to be aware of that I need to course correct? And I went through about 10 different areas of my life and just did a checkpoint on each one of those. That's surfing the daily energy to its max right there. And got a couple of things that I could work on. Well, do the same thing here today. Discover first if you're on the shadow side of that T-square, and then second, if you're on the positive side of that T-square and this inspiration is trying to break through, then sit down and figure out that balance between the head and the heart. Because actually, Mercury does exactly square Neptune tonight at 8:08 p.m. So there you go. It is quite an aspect. This one's powerful. This one's a cool one to surf. So I hope that sets it up for you on both sides of the coin. Have a great day. I'll see you back tomorrow for TGI Friday. Sending you love. Have a good one. Welcome, December.